when you talk about South Florida, it's not only the beaches and the nightlife. South Florida is much bigger than that, and it's totally different lifestyle when you try to live with families in South Florida. Visiting South Florida is totally different, but when you live here, it's totally different perspective for the families. So that's why you should watch this video till the end to understand the bird eye view how South Florida lifestyle is for the families and what would be the ideal location to live if you are thinking to move here. South Florida has a very different varieties of living. So if you are, let's say, living in city life, which I consider Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Delray Beach, West Palm Beach, all those downtown beach lifestyle, downtown life or the beach lifestyle, I consider those both as a city life because that's a little bit different than you're talking about the suburb life. Most of the families prefer suburb lifestyle because there are a lot of reasons on that. That's why you should watch this video completely and understand how the South Florida lifestyle, especially for families with kids, because when there's a kids involved, there are a lot of factors we have to think about. So I'm a parent and I can feel the anxiousness if you are, thinking to move or you are already living in South Florida and you're experiencing the one of the lifestyle, then, if you like to move to the different, for example, a lot of people start living in Miami because Miami is very famous in South Florida, but eventually they realize, no, this is not for me, and they try to migrate to one of those suburbs, which I'll be talking about. So let me give you overview about the map, like how South Florida suburb and the city looks like. So when I talk about the suburb, that's mostly on the west side of the beach, and east side is towards beach or on the beach. Basically, a lot of towns starting from Miami-Dade County to Broward County to Palm Beach County. So Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood. I'm randomly saying the names on this border, but all of these towns, which is towards the east side, that I'll consider city life, because the city life, when I say, it's totally different. It's a beach condo lifestyle. The single families are very rare unless you can afford high luxury style neighborhoods, but there are neighborhoods like that. So there are some videos about Fort Lauderdale neighborhoods because that's kind of a little bit of common if you are preferring a single family but want to live in Fort Lauderdale. Then there are neighborhoods like Dolphin Isle, all those towards the beach, but at the same time single family. But again, it's not exactly same as the suburb life, okay? And mainly city, most of the people who buys first home, that's mostly they try to buy a condo there in high-rise buildings. And suburb, when I talk about, there's a lot of multiple towns and it's more affordable than city life. We will be talking about the pricing and all in few minutes, but briefly talking about, definitely the suburb is less expensive. Each town has a different comparison though, but at the same time, it's really less expensive than Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. And suburb, when I talk, is Parkland, Weston, Boca Raton, Wellington, all those A-rated cities. So we are not even talking about the cities which are not into comparatively for families with kids, because a lot of people prefer to live here in suburb because of the schools also. And those are the factors we'll be talking just in a minute. So understand the map overview so that, when I talk about the neighborhoods, when I will show you actual neighborhoods of suburb, you can relate a little bit. So South Florida for the families is different because when you talk about families, the most important part is kids. And for the kids is the school ratings. Majority of the family decide to live in suburb area. So right now where I am, that's, if you see on a map, it's called a Parkland, and this is one of the A-rated city you will find in South Florida. And Parkland, similar to that, there are some other cities called Weston or even North Hugo, Wellington, West Palm Beach. There are a lot of other cities also, but the reason people live around this area is there are a couple of major benefits, and we'll be going one by one. Number one, as I said, the schools. Schools here, A-rated public schools. If you're looking for private schools, definitely you will have a lot of choices if you go further towards the Fort Lauderdale. So So people who live in Fort Lauderdale or downtown area or city life, if they want to experience, then the schools, the majority part, they have a choice of private school. But if you are someone who wants to have A-rated public schools and competitive kind of environment for your kids, then this area, these cities, which I'm talking in this particular video, like Parkland, Weston, Boca Raton, Wellington, all those are very important. And there is a particular video about each city and perspective of the schools. If you want to learn why they are great, then you should watch that video. And number 2 is the neighborhoods. So before I show you specific neighborhood where I'll be taking a tour to one of our property and also will be showing you actual neighborhood, I want to give you a little overview of again the cities, like because suburb has a tons of cities and every city has a different lifestyle. And I do have a specific videos on those, but there are major cities I prefer for families with kids. It's Weston, Parkland, Wellington, Boca Raton, Coral Springs, maybe personally you say a little bit on up north, and also there's a new town called Westlake City. So all those towns are interesting because those are almost every checklist if you have, especially moving with kids, it will marked. So, and still they are not very far from the beach. There are some drawbacks that we'll be discussing, but at the same time it's still that the distance is not that much far. The good part about South Florida is anywhere you live, the beach is at least maximum is like 20 minutes. Okay, so there will be like a local road, so that's why because of the traffic hours it may take a while. I live in Coral Springs, so beaches from my places in a traffic hours is around 40 to 50 minutes, but otherwise it's like 20 minutes if you go in non-traffic hours. So it's not bad. So you can still enjoy beach, but at the same time there's still like the tick marks for your kids, like the schools, having the quieter neighborhoods, having bigger homes, reasonable pricing, affordable pricing, and newer homes can be achieved in suburb areas. So let me take you to one of the neighborhoods, and that will give you a little bit more, visualization how it's actually look like. I'm gonna take you a little bit of drive in this particular neighborhood. This is a Watercrest in Parkland. The best part about this particular neighborhood is this Watercrest Lake. As soon as you enter in the community, it's so beautiful view of water. And this neighborhood started around 2011 as of initial starting around that year, and the house is like what we just went, it's actually built around 2016. So there are up to even 2018 the sales were happening. 2018 or even I think the last one, but just before the COVID it stopped. So this is still considered as a newer neighborhood in Parkland. And for the neighborhoods today, I will be talking to one of my agent, and he's always on the field, so he can give a little bit more insight about his thoughts. So right now we are in Parkland. He's Joel, and today he's one of my backbone. He's if you guys see my videos and if you request a Zoom consultation, then he's a guy who is going to help you to see the houses. So it's better he comes on camera too, so I'm trying to push him and he talks more because he's always on the field. He knows sometimes better than even me right now what's happening in the neighborhoods, because he's always seeing different houses, neighborhoods, always with the clients on the road. So we are going to take a live conversation between us, is like what exactly his feelings are, why his clients thinks the Parkland is kind of the best neighborhood town here in South Florida.
Yeah.
So let's talk.
Sure. So the reason why our clients love moving to Parkland is mainly that the communities are very friendly. They love spending time with each other. We just had a neighbor that came over and said, hey, just because they saw that their neighbor was leaving and they wanted to see who was coming over here to live now. One of the things, the culture is very strong over there. They have a neighbor come over here. They're very friendly in this community. They even share each other's keys. So like when someone's out of town, they'll come over and check on each other's houses. Long story short, they spend a lot of time with each other, and it's a lot of trust building. They feel like they're family in a sense. So I would definitely recommend moving to Parkland. So some of the things in these homes they're very modern. You don't have to worry about updating your home, such as a comparable community would be Weston. Very nice city, but the houses are a little bit older. If you come over here, you get, the same culture, but you also have the modern homes and you don't have to worry about doing too much work.
What he means by modern homes is like, if you see just outside here, is it can tell a lot of message what we're trying to give you. It's like a Spanish looking style, Mediterranean style tiles. It's like fancy flat tiles sometimes. So all those things matters and when you add up the list. And all of these houses, most of them are 90% of the neighborhood, they have hurricane impact windows, and that's the biggest expense you will have to do it, at least to save the insurance, not just about the hurricane, but protection for hurricane, but also for the insurance. So now we are going to talk a little bit more about, Joel, what do you think, more detailed comparison of like houses in Coral Springs, let's say 1980s built, you see bigger finds, and these are a little bit newer. What exact the reactions people, like live reactions you observe?
So another reason why people love moving to Parkland is the fact that, I'll give you an example actually. We have a client, he loved Coral Springs, but there was something that he liked particularly about Parkland is the fact that we have gas over here. Gas, in terms of cooking is a lot better for some, that everyone loves to move to Parkland is the fact that they have the best schools in South Florida.
Yeah, for everyone is most important, especially the families, right? The kids culture. So the Parkland offers that starting from the school, E-rated school. Even when you come in the neighborhoods, I was talking to my client, it's so friendly. Like after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, of course, there's so much hate. So yeah. I'm just saying the particular times, but if you're moving from some other states, you may not feel that. But bottom line is after 3, 4, when the days cool down, you will see kids playing around outside, like all kind of seasons or the festivals, there's all different feel, which you may not get in other cities like Coral Springs or Sunrise or, that non-structured communities. This is, I will say, is a very structured communities, and everything is kind of in order. Like one thing we like about this also is like everything, like look-wise, if you just walk in, you will feel that you are coming in luxury community. Any other thoughts, Joel, you have to share with our audience?
I will just absolutely 100% recommend moving here.
Yes, that's the ultimate thought process, because I know, Joel, we were just talking about, we start so many clients in other cities like we choose because of the pricing. Actually, that will be the main filter. But at the end, a lot of times they end up in Parkland, and they are more comfortable, even here and there, going up with the numbers. But the city or neighborhoods what the Parkland offers, it's not that common commonly find in other cities, neighborhoods. Very rare you see random neighborhoods in different, like let's say Coconut Creek, one of our client, Montera, right? The Montera event, it's kind of looking same in Coconut Creek. But it's a very random 1 or 2 neighborhoods. But here it's a lot of options.
Very consistent.
Very, very consistent. So our guest appearance, Joel, will you come back?
I will come back. This is great.
So we were trying.
I have more recommendations for you guys too, but we'll leave it to the big boss, Como.
No, I always tell him to come in our videos, but his little patience, calm. And
yeah, that's the fun.
I don't know. No, but we are planning to do more videos together. It's because he's always on the field and he has a lot of practical experiences with the clients. So just not, I'm more logical person, and number kind of my strength. Numbers game is my strength, and he is more on field, so he does get to see the psychology of what clients thinks, how they behave, or how, not how they behave, but it's like how they think, what they like, what they don't like, that kind of stuff, right? So we are going to do some more neighborhoods with Joel, and it will be more planned video. So now let's talk about the important part, is what exactly you get in a city life. Like when you talk about the metro, Miami life, or Fort Lauderdale, or even living in Delray Beach. These are one of the famous cities if you consider living in downtown. And I love it. I love beach lifestyle, but definitely with kids, I may not prefer personally, but everybody has their own preferences. So if you are moving with young kids, you can still think about it. If you want to really every day want to go to the beach and you're okay with the traffic, then yes, you can surely choose. So let me show you some visualization about some drone shots and the buildings. How does it look like? A lot of high-rise buildings. Majority people prefer to live in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood area, or even Hollandale. And Miami is kind of getting crowded. It's more crowded than even Fort Lauderdale area. So I would skip Miami area, because that's kind of more become a tourist place than just living and enjoying there. There are areas like Doral, like random scatter areas is still okay, but that's something, if you have a job there and you have to live there, then definitely it's doable. But a lot of people still don't prefer to live in Miami. After a few months they get adjusted because of the traffic issues. So schools, you can still kind of put those kids in private schools. There are a lot of good private schools there, like American Heritage and Plantation is a little bit further, but still like people put the kids there. Or the best they use is Pinecrest. Pinecrest is in Fort Lauderdale itself, so it's not too far. But in Miami, is different sets of schools you can prefer. But however, Miami would be my last choice unless you have a job there. Otherwise, you can go further north and get a feel about city life and still live towards beach and have a little bit of affordable pricing in your homes. So Delray Beach is one of my most favorite. Not too many high rises there. Townhouses, condos, possible to get. Single family house, yes, definitely you can find the choices there, but it's not that many communities though. And another best choice I like it also is a Pompano Beach. So if you're someone moving here and again want to live about the beach life and still want affordable and you're okay with the high-rise buildings, Pompano Beach has a great choices. So all this city life is mixed with pros and cons. It's a great tourist places. Okay, there are great tourists. It's always lively. Nightlife is amazing. Something is going around there. It's different than suburb. Suburb is more quieter. You don't even feel like you are living close to Miami when you are in suburb, but it's totally different vibe when you go towards beach. Now let's take a ride and also talk about the cost. So it's a ride for analyzing the real estate part, which is most important when you are, deciding to relocate or planning for, even though you are local, let's say you're living in Florida, but you are thinking to move, because a lot of people, when they move here because of the work, they may have to stay in nearby Miami, Doral area, but eventually they realize that this is not the city for them. And my lot of at least 20% of the clients who are local, they come from the south side of where we live, basically from the Miami, Hialeah, or Doral, because that's long run they do not like there, and a lot of drawbacks. That's something I think I should make another video on specific, but I will try to stick to the facts, what we are focusing, the comparison facts. By the way, when I'm driving, I want to show you guys. So this particular community, these houses are on the lake, and that's one beautiful lake you will find if you in case decide to buy something, then definitely see this community too. Look at this. This is the bigger lake. It's one of the biggest lake in this area. Look at this massive lake view. So this particular house was a model house and one of the best plan of this particular community. It's a very big plan. It's almost 6 bedrooms with pool and very beautiful house. If I have an older video, I'll show you guys about this. But this is a great kind of example which I wanted to share. Is when you move with the families, you want a little peace of mind, and this neighborhood, where this city, like let's say Parkland, Weston, or the cities which I am trying to tell you, or I'll show you on a map also. Those cities have stock, and the pricing is still comparatively to Miami. Fort Lauderdale is not that. The houses on this lake were getting sold around 500,000. Can you believe? 500,000. And I personally did a couple of deals in this community with the builder, around 500, 600, around that, that number. Definitely not million. And look at this market right now. Numbers have drastically changed. Since we are here in this property, so I'm going to show you inside also a little bit, just to give you a glimpse how this will look like, and some features we are going to talk with. This particular house is below $1 million actually, and this is actually much lower than 900,000. It's one of the example where this market we can still get the property below $1 million in Parkland easily, and that's something not a lot of buyers knows about it. So it's very important, if you have a proper strategy and good negotiation plan, then definitely this market can help you out. So look at this. This house is actually more than worth of what's listed, because it's a lot of remodeling they have done. This is not a builder given. It's just 2016 house though, and still they almost like remodel every single piece. So fully wall-to-wall remodeled bathroom. There's no cut corners. Look at the fancy light. It's all LED light, mirrors. It's all kind of nicely done. Look at the size of countertop. So it's pretty good done, and that's another advantage of buying in Parkland, because people spend money for themselves. Let's say if this was some investment property, that may not be like this. Look at this wall. They, each things, tiny things does matter. It does not come into the appraisal money, but those are the value. This particular house in this market, we took on the contract within 5 days, but with good negotiation. So that's kind of examples I'm talking about. There will be a little bit of compromises when you live in suburb, like the beach will be far. I mean, even though anywhere you choose in South Florida is 20 minutes from majority town to go to the beach, because we are still on the border, southeast border. So basically it's not that bad, but in a traffic hours, yeah, a lot of times we can go almost every day. our busy life. Mostly people plan in weekends, but if you are someone who wants to explore every single day or every other day, or majority time in a weekdays, then definitely the downtown areas are much amazing, because living there is a totally different feel. Trust me, I have a lot of clients, we bought a condo there, even single family houses. It's totally different lifestyle feel than you live in suburb. Most important thing, everybody wants to be secure, is the safety. Crime rates, so here it's almost none in suburb areas. And of course there are some other cities in suburbs, there will be some variables, but communities in Portland, and the location where I am, Weston, the Broward County, even Palm Beach County, on further on the suburb side, there are almost no crime, and it's very safe. Majority communities are gated with the HOAs, so it's a little disadvantage where you have to pay some extra. But again, in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, if you live in condo, HOA fees are insane. So it's different HOA rules you will see versus condo versus single family houses. So it's not that scary like condos, but I would say it works positively more. Like they are, safety wise, they offer a lot, like a clubhouse and a lot of communities, grass cutting, the landscaping, everything covered by them. Some communities even sprinkler system covered by them, and a lot of community events they do offer. So many plus points if you are even paying, but it's worth it.